It's 5 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. A young woman, age 24, steps into the Bridge of Sighs before stopping as she reaches the center. She looks through the ornate iron bars that serve as a barrier into the water below, from within the enclosed bridge. Then, she looks at a pocket watch. She pauses for a moment, taking shallow breaths and shaking noticeably. She murmurs quietly to herself. "Hello," says a voice coming from the far side of the bridge. The young woman jumps, startled, before catching herself. She turns to see a man in his mid-30s, unshaven, approaching her from the prison gates at the far side. He is alone and in shackles. Though it's dark, he is wearing sunglasses. "Sorry, I didn't hear you coming," the young woman says. "Not a problem," the man says with a chuckle as he stops beside her. Keeping his head straight forward, looking directly past the woman, he asks, "Beautiful day, isn't it?" The young woman looks again at the water. "Yeah?" she replies with a defeated tone. "You sound unsure," the man responds. "Is it not a beautiful day?" Realization dawning upon her, the young woman asks with trepidation, "Oh, are you, visually impaired?" "I'm blind," the man says, laughing at the woman's attempt to avoid offense. "Ever since I was born." "Oh, I didn't know. I'm so sorry." "Don't be," the man says with a subtle laugh. "Is it a nice day?" "I mean, the sun is coming up now. It's a little overcast, but it's a nice temperature, I guess." The man smiles and nods without saying anything. "I'm Ryan, by the way," he says. "Hey, Ryan. It's Erin." "I know," he responds. She turns around and stares intensely at the water again. After a couple seconds pass, Ryan interrupts, "I expect we shall not meet again after this moment. Would you give a dead man one last wish?" Okay," Erin responds apologetically, turning to face Ryan again. "Could you describe it for me?" "Describe what?" "Just whatever you see, the sky, the water, the buildings, anything." Erin pauses for a moment, then turns to the window. She looks through. Well, the sky is a dark blue right now. There's a bunch of clouds scattered across it, which are a sort of dark gray. They're fluffy looking, like cotton balls, or maybe the inside of a cushion. The sun is breaking now, so it's sort of glowing from behind the cityscape, adding this pink and orange layer to the bottom of the sky. It all blends together. No hard lines, just seamless colors and textures mixed perfectly. It looks really pretty, actually. Ryan contorts his face as if he is seeing it within his mind. What does the blue and gray and orange look like, though? And the glow and fluffiness and niceness. Can you describe those for me too? Erin pauses for another moment. "Well, the orange looks warm, like heat," she says, pausing to think about where to go from there. "What does it mean to you when something looks warm?" "I never really understood that," Ryan asks. "It's kind of like pure and bright and intense, at least for the orange. The pink is more hot, I guess. You can almost feel it without actually feeling warmth. And the blue is dark, like similar to when you close your eyes. That nothingness, I guess. It's also hitting the water under the bridge right now and reflecting a similar color." "What does the water look like?" Ryan asks. "Right now, it kind of looks like, maybe like jagged melting glass, or, I don't know, it's almost pulsing. It looks alive. It's kind of ominous. There's a bunch of moss crawling the walls of the river where water meets stone. Is there any stone around us now?" Ryan asks, gesturing with his shackled hands. Erin looks around. This bridge is made of stone. "What does it look like? Close up. All the details." Erin touches the surface of the surrounding limestone, bringing her face close to inspect it under the dim light. "It just sort of looks like rock, I suppose." "But what makes it look like rock?" Ryan asks. "I guess it's flat, but also not. It's bumpy, but not very rough. It looks earthy, if that makes sense. There are a bunch of tiny lines and divots running up and down its surface. There are different patterns and colors spread throughout, but none of it is symmetrical, so the shapes and patterns don't really match or look like anything. This spot is kind of cool." Erin taps on the wall. "Why is it cool?" Ryan asks. "I don't know. I like the pattern. It's a mix of several colors. It's different from the other areas." "How would you describe mixed colors?" I never really understood that either. Erin, trying her best to elaborate, continues using other details and items and sensations to compare with. This continues further and further into other, even more obscure observations into the visual dimension of reality. Eventually, with every item and detail, Erin reaches a point where she struggles to find the words to explain further, and each time, she finds herself experiencing a strange sensation, noticing how absurd and fascinating everything is, and how hard it is to describe anything completely or understand anything fully. She repeatedly gets lost in this process, almost losing track of herself. Ryan, noticing this each time, moves on to something else, keeping the conversation active and alive. The two spend an hour and 17 minutes doing this together. While Erin is still describing items and visual insights, not even aware of how much time has passed, Ryan says, somewhat suddenly, "Well, I ought to let you get on with your life. My future is beyond the door. This was very kind of you. Thank you for indulging me." Erin snaps back to reality, dazed and detached from her prior state. Yeah. No problem. I hope that helped a little bit." She pauses for a moment before getting up, adjusting to the looming disaster. "So, were you able to form pictures of that in your head?" she asks. Ryan considers for a moment. "No, not really." "No? What do you mean?" "Well, I've never seen anything before. So, my mind has no visual reference points. I really have no idea what anything could possibly look like. It's all nothing to me." "What do you mean by nothing? How can something be nothing?" "Well, exactly. If I explain nothing to you, it would sort of be like you describing something to me. It just doesn't work. I don't understand. Why did you ask me all of those questions, then?" Ryan takes a breath. "I find that people often say it's important to look inward. You know, like in order to find strength or meaning in life or whatever it is people say. But I am limited to inward looking, and I've learned that this just doesn't get you very far in life. The most enriching moments, the most enriching experiences, what makes life worth living, I think, is when you're looking outward. For most of us, most of the time, we are looking inward at ourselves, thinking about how things matter to us, or because of us, or with us at the focal point, concentrated on how we look and how we act and how important we are, or aren't. But if you really self-reflect, there's nothing in there. Nothing at all. Trust me, it's all I see. We are out here." Ryan points his shackled hands at the floor. "In every little detail of every little thing, in every little moment, in immersing into all the unfathomable features of the simple and mundane, and in realizing, viscerally, what it means that you can perceive it all. That is where, I think, life is. You've helped me just now, Erin. I'm not some kind of saint. Anytime I feel like I can help someone perhaps see better, I will take the opportunity to teach them. Selfishly, that is how I see the world. I try to impact others outside of myself. I believe that if the spiritual realm exists, it's not experienced by looking inward to find yourself, but when you look outside to lose yourself. For these few moments with me, I hope you lost yourself. And I hope you remember this moment." Erin tries to process the strange twist before exchanging a few closing words. The two say a sincere goodbye and express a mutual appreciation for the other. Ryan exits the bridge through a door into the courtroom from which Erin had entered, while she remains behind, exploring reality in a way she had never before. Erin would return at the same time tomorrow and for many years to come. Ryan, however, was a free man. He would never return.